At the heart of the Bible, and therefore at the heart of all biblical religion, including Christianity, there is the mystery of a liberating obedience. If you want to be free and genuinely free, then you must learn the way of obedience, which is the way of the open ear. We see this in the book of Exodus, where the people, once Moses puts the commands of the Lord before them, we are told the people say with one voice, "We will observe all the commands that the Lord has decreed." And then later on they say, the same people, "We will observe all that the Lord has decreed. We will obey." The problem is, however, subsequently they don't, and nor do we. Because you see, all of us are like the field, and indeed the church as a community is like the field of which the Lord has spoken. The field that contains both weeds and wheat. We say yes and no at the one time. We say we will obey, but we don't quite manage the obedience that we pledge. So there is the field of our heart that has both wheat and weeds. There is the field of the church that is no different. The problem is that we won't shed blood, you see, and that's what obedience, real obedience, radical obedience requires. The covenant will always demand the blood of the covenant, which will eventually be the blood of Christ on the cross. But it is also our blood. Because we say no to the shedding of blood, no to the sacrifice, and no to the cross, therefore, we are those who say both yes and no. We will obey, but we don't quite. We are both wheat and weeds. However, in the community of the church down through time, there are certain people who are willing to shed the blood, to live the sacrifice, and therefore to live the mystery of the Lord's cross. There are men and women who find their way into a radical obedience which becomes the radical liberation which is promised to us in the risen Christ. These are those whom we call the saints. It's not that they're perfect, none of them is, but they have found their way to that radical obedience, into the mystery of the Lord's cross, and therefore into the freedom that is Easter. It's certainly true of Eileen O'Connor that she shed the blood, that she lived the sacrifice, and that she entered deeply into the mystery of the Lord's cross. Therefore, we pray this morning that she, who founded Our Lady's Nurses of the Poor and who entered her own poverty, which is the poverty of Christ, who made her rich in the midst of that poverty, we pray that the time will come when Eileen O'Connor will join Mary MacKillop in the joyful company of all the saints.